So we're here with Heather Oelklaus, and we're talking about your new exhibit, which is part of our Rating the Crates series, and it is one of a kind. And it all started with this hero. Tell us about what we're seeing, what we're looking at here.
Well, the hero is a lumen print, and it's a one-of-a-kind print on photographic paper. So this paper that this is on is the basic darkroom black and white silver gelatin print paper. And what I do is I take it outside in the white light, so therefore it's exposed and kind of ruined if I wanted to use it in the darkroom again. But I placed a hero sandwich on it.
You actually placed the bread, the meat, the vegetables.
A deconstructed hero is what it is.
And how long do you have to leave that food out there for you?
This was 2 days.
It's just 2 days.
Bright sun, heavy UV light, hot as can be. So the organic material reacts with the silver that's in the photo paper. And it causes these beautiful colors to come out.
You don't eat the leftovers, right?
No, but some of the squirrels in my yard did.
Okay.
They loved it.
Okay. And this is an example of one of the many techniques that you're using, a lot of very, very old techniques, to create something that's new and original and often very silly.
I love silly. Silly's good. Silly can get you to a serious place without realizing it.
And one of the things I love about this Rating the Crates series is the idea of taking one piece, and in this case we're talking about Hero, and then building a whole exhibit out of it. So let's talk about how do you feel like this all fits together? Let's look around.
Called, what did I call this? Sorry, dinner table. I used to call it Thanksgiving, but I think dinner table fits it better. This is the tablecloth for my Thanksgiving dinner. So instead of a regular cloth, I put photographic darkroom paper, just like in the hero piece, and then invited guests over. And then we had a fun little food fight and played and left our dishes on the table for a couple days and made this work of art.
So what you're saying is everybody who has put a wet glass on a coffee table has created
right there, it's a wet glass.
Has created art in some way.
Oh, well, yeah, it depends. Did it end up in a museum? Then maybe it wasn't art. I don't know. This is called Surveil, and it's a play on antiquated surveillance. I feel like we have so much surveillance all around us all the time. These objects are stereo viewers, and it always reminded me of not stereo cameras, but surveillance cameras. So what the stereo views are actually tintypes in camera of my house, the rooms in my house. So that's the kitchen that you're looking at now. And so the process is a wet plate collodion, one of a kind, of course, made in the camera, exposed right then and there. And
most people who aren't familiar with stereoscopes would just equate this with the old Viewmasters that we had as kids, right?
Yeah, so in essence the camera takes a picture with your left eye and the right eye, and then with this viewer, when you come up, you put them up and it makes it a 3D image.
And is there a reason why you have them at odd angles that force people into very awkward positions as they're trying to, you gotta squat down really low for that one?
I wanted it to resemble a cluster of surveillance cameras. So you've seen those pictures at airports or in China and always something where there's just clusters of cameras. And so I wanted it to, these are cyanotyped on Braille pages. So you get up close, you see that these are actual pages from a textbook that's Braille. And this was a textbook for an industrial arts class. And so here you can see a diagram of the wood. And so I had my daughter do beautiful hand puppets, which is kind of nice with this display because how Joy lit it, you can play around. I'm really bad at it, but you can play around with it and do your own while you're looking at this. So a cyanotype, another name for cyanotype is iron printing. So it's made with iron salts. There's no real too much darkroom part of it, exposed with UV light outside. And since these are all on pages of of this Braille book. It's one-of-a-kind situation. These are lumen prints again, just like the hero sandwich piece and the dining room table, but these are cereals. And so they're each named
Breakfast
after,
cereal.
yeah, breakfast cereal. So they're each named after their slogan. So this is called, "Hey Mikey, he likes it." So we know that's life
cereal
Very good.
as a medium. I never
Yes.
saw that as a food as an art medium actually, but
Yeah.
I guess it's all how you look at it.
This piece is called The Illustrated Guide for Rural and Urban Folks. It's an unconventional book made out of a science chemistry lab kit. On the cover there's a boy playing with test tubes. The test tubes in this instance I see as a book page. The piece is called House Guest, and it's part of the tittle series. A tittle is the dot above the I in letterpress. So this is me dotting my I's. For this series, I was inspired by my table, my dinner table. So the circle represents the family dinner table, and these are conversations.
It's really the second visit to your
Yes.
dinner table.
Yeah, I have a lot of dinner table. The dinner tables are very influential in my work. But these are conversations that family probably have around a dinner table. This is called Follow the Leader, and it is my take on, not my take, but my thoughts about the shootings in Colorado and around the country. And so maybe there needs to be conversations about that around the dinner table. This series is called OPP, Other People's Photography. And this piece is called Double Cross. And so I had two, in this instance, two antique photos from the 50s of military wives at a luncheon or tea party. These were military issued photographs. And so that's why they look so posed, but not posed at the same time. So two different photos weaved together.
You've done some X-Acto work here.
Yeah, yes. Lots of time and X-Acto work.
Oh man.
A little bit of carpal tunnel syndrome going on with this
Yeah.
one. This is called Seated Saint.
And it does weird things with your brain because you're trying to integrate these images.
Well, that's what I want. Weird things with your brain. Now this piece is called Suburbia, and it was photographed used with my camera truck. I have a 1977 Chevy box.
It sounds like you said the word camera and truck
It's
as a thing.
My camera goes 75 miles an hour. It photographs down the interstate.
It gives a whole new meaning to shutter speed, doesn't
Yes,
it?
exactly. Good one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So the back of the truck projects these huge images, and I put photosensitive paper, just like regular darkroom paper, but huge mural sizes on the wall.
So you're capturing these images as it's driving.
This one isn't though. This one is 5 exposures on one piece of paper.
Okay.
So I would stop and expose for 5 minutes, cover the hole, put the lens cap on, drive to the next place, take the lens cap off of the hole, sit for 5 minutes and do that. So it's a multiple exposure piece. And so
Overlapping collage.
yeah, once you see that fence,
Right.
it kind of makes more sense too.
It holds it together.
It holds it together. There's cars in garages.
And here we have one that sort of more clearly looks like you're looking out of your windshield.
Yeah, that definitely does. And they were at the Tinseltown.
We know where we are. We're going to see a movie.
We're seeing a movie, which is kind of gives a nod to the whole process of this image being projected in my truck, while inside Tinseltown, many movies are being projected.
Oh, now you're getting deep.
Oh, I'm so deep. The doing part is easy. The thinking about part is
Right.
the hard part and the most important part. You can do something quick. These prints I could do really quick. These are, I mean, in the realm of things. But to think about it, that's the fun part as an artist, is to really get your teeth into it and figure out why the heck you do it. And even today I'm making even more connections to why I made this work.
And what kind of reaction do you expect by and large, from your work? I mean, I found myself giggling a lot.
Well, that's good. I never think about it when I think.
But we're supposed to be serious. I think there's an unspoken message in museums that we're supposed to take this very, very seriously.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
No, no, I'm asking you. I mean, how
I
do
would
you
like
feel?
to be taken seriously,
Yes,
of course.
yeah.
I take myself very seriously.
Right, or you wouldn't spend the time. And I mean, this is not easy. The work here
a lot
is.
of times people say, "Oh, you have such humor in your work," and I kind of like, "What do you mean?" I mean, I don't see what's so funny. To me, it is like serious stuff, like even the cereal with the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and stuff like that. That's serious stuff to me. I'm a diabetic. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I deal with food my whole life. So food to me is not a fun thing. Where some people think it's a fun, enjoyable thing, I hate it. I hate thinking about it. I hate.
Well, I apologize for having laughed. I feel.
But I do. No, I do. I want people to enjoy it because that's how people learn things. If you go, we're going to do serious stuff today. Let's learn about it.
No,
Do you think anyone's going to want to learn?
Right.
If you want to have fun and explore ideas, make it approachable. And so having a little humor with that does make it approachable. And so maybe this message that it's serious to me. I take myself way too seriously. Maybe it only needs to be serious to me. Maybe I only make my work for me, but I really think other people can get something out of it too.
Well, the other thing that I get out of it is, you see things on one level just looking at the product, but actually understanding the process of how it was created seems to be really part of your work. You really want people to sort of
picked up on that because
understand that.
It's like accessorizing.
Right.
You have to choose the right camera for the right concept, or you got to choose the right technique for the right message you're trying to convey. And so, to me, that is a huge part of it. If I wanted to do a landscape, I would paint. I would never take a photo of it. That makes no sense to me in my brain.
Right. And also, it's sort of interesting to look at this work in the context of the amazing strides that people are making in digital photography and all the work that's being done.
Excuse me, what's that word?
Yeah, right. Digital photography.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to Google that.
Google it. There's something about it. I think we actually have a couple of classes at BMIS about it. But and it's really, there's so much more you can do with the images. There's so much manipulation that you can do that you could never have done before, and it's so easy. There's, what you're doing here goes really back to the idea of what photography was when it was first created.
Photography's a child. I mean, we're here in this museum with things that are how old? I mean,
right, centuries.
Yeah, like photography is an infant. And we're already moving on. I'm just making my way to that D word.
Yeah.
I'm just starting at the beginning and making my way.
There's nothing there yet.
I really.
I'll let you know if anything interesting comes out of it.
By the time I get there, it'll be.
I'll send you a hard copy letter.
I'll recycle it. But no, I really think there's so much more to explore with just the fundamentals of photography. And really, that's the question. What is photography? Is it what you're shooting from your telephone? Is it, something that's a shadow on the ground? What is it? I hope people ask that question when they see my show. What is photography, and what's my relationship to photography? Because everybody does have a relationship to photography. And so I think that would be nice for people to think about when they see my work.